With that, I will introduce Rheid. It's about time.
I didn't know that we had a room full of millennials today. Make myself feel a little bit more comfortable. How's that? Is that better? One night, back in 2005, I found myself lying on a park bench, staring at the stars, trying to decide what to do next. I'd been working for Hewlett-Packard for the past 5 years, and yet I felt like I wasn't doing my job. I felt that I needed to have a degree to be successful in my job. What's weird is that HP hired me without having a degree. It's true that I had 15 industry-leading certifications, and they liked that, and that I could do the work that they'd asked me to do. But I just didn't feel like I was competing with my peers, who most of them had PhDs. That night, as I was looking into the stars, I was wondering, what do I need to do next? I contemplated going back to school, but how could I do that? How could I find the time to go back and finish a degree? I was working full-time, had a family, I had responsibilities in my church, I was doing things every day of the week, it seemed like. How could I find time to even think about going back to school? I could blame my circumstances on my situation in life. Laying there and thinking about nothing has really gone quite the way I'd anticipated. But I didn't. I decided to take responsibility for my life. That was before I knew Jack Canfield. And one of his quotes from his book, The Success Principles, says this: "One of the most pervasive myths in American culture today is that we are entitled to a great life. That somehow, somewhere, someone, certainly not us, is responsible for filling our lives with continual happiness, exciting careers and options, nurturing family time, and blissful personal relationships simply because we exist. But the real truth is there is only one person responsible for the quality of life that you live. That person is you. If you want to be successful, you have to take 100% responsibility for everything that you experience in this life." That night on the park bench, I was really struggling to figure out what I should do next. How could I find that success, and how could I feel successful amongst a group of men and women who I felt like I was inferior of? Zig Ziglar once said, "Lack of direction, not lack of time, is the problem. We all have 24-hour days." That night, as I contemplated my life and as I meditated with my mentor, I asked myself, could I really do this? Could I really go back to school? The following days, I looked at different options, tried to put the pieces together, and what I found was not very encouraging. Programs at different universities just didn't seem to match up. And I kept wondering why I had this desire, but yet nothing was falling into place. I asked God why that was. It was 2 days later that I got the answer. My responsibilities with my church were going to change. They wanted me to take on a more significant leadership role, and that would take more of my time. I said I would do it. 2 weeks later, I get a notice in the mail from Brigham Young University about finishing what you'd started, and a new program that they were introducing that included online classes and being able to do your degree remotely. It's interesting how sometimes at the darkest moment, it's just when the blessings are going to start coming. And for me, that was one of those transitions. It became one of those moments when I needed to do some self-introspection of myself and also take a look at where I was really heading and what I was doing, because that's the important part of our life. What I found is that I was heading in the wrong direction with many of the things that I was doing. My focus in life was focused on those things that seemed to be urgent, but that weren't important. One of the first criteria of the program to go back to school was to evaluate how you were going to be successful. Well, I just wanted to jump in and start the classes and get going. I wanted to really make this happen. Well, that first project forced me to look at my time, to look at what I really valued in life, and then sit down and figure out if I really valued the education I was trying to pursue. That became a turning point for me, and something that changed my life. Something that introduced to me a new concept in my life that I now brand as must, shoulds, and wants. This program that I'm going to present to you tonight is all about getting what you want when you have so many musts that need to be done. One of my mentors, Abraham Lincoln, he once said, "Give me 6 hours to chop down a tree and I'll spend the first hour sharpening the axe." For me, that's what I needed to do. I needed to sharpen the saw. I needed to hone those skills and establish a plan of success. Some of that was scheduling my time more effectively, and in some cases, just scheduling time to do nothing. What you'll learn from this program is how to prioritize your life to get what you want, how to schedule your time to do nothing so that you can dream, so that you can plan. There is only one person that can take responsibility for your success. It's you. Isn't it about time? Toastmaster.